This disc is all music of J.S. Bach. We've basically, or I've spent the last few months just finding pieces of Bach that I really love, or things that I've always wanted to record. And the hardest thing has been deciding what not to record, because there's just so much music. The thing about playing the trumpet is that people often think it's quite an aggressive, strident instrument, and will always be loud and maybe not that subtle, and it's something that I would really like to challenge, because of course, as I mentioned, Maurice Andre, he played in this way that was, I think, very effeminate and very expressive, and this is certainly something that the trumpet can do. It's a very versatile instrument. I believe that, I mean, Bach is probably, if I had to say a favourite composer, he would be my favourite composer. All the pieces that we're playing are pieces I really love. You know, there's nothing that's weaker than anything else. And having the different combinations, so it's not all trumpet and organ, there's also some unaccompanied things. I think that makes it quite varied, so I'm hoping that that will engage the listener for the whole of the disc. And so that's why I think it hopefully is, yeah, it's unique, but I think it's got its qualities that should work.
It's wonderful to work with such a great trumpeter, and for me to be able to play a really good organ as well always help. And I think the blend here is really good between the two instruments, which is something which I think is vital for the medium. And the acoustic of the chapel helps a lot as well, I think, in allowing the music a lot of space.
Well, it's a very, very resonant acoustic, which on the first day when we were balancing was quite hard to work with, because the organ is obviously in one place and I'm in the organ loft, which is quite covered where I'm standing. But then when you stop playing, you realise that it's actually carrying on for several seconds after you've stopped. But it is a wonderful acoustic and it's a beautiful building, so it's been quite an inspiring place to work.
It's always amazed me that you have two instruments, trumpet and organ, which work so well together, and yet there is really, in the grand scheme of things, not an awful lot of indigenous repertoire. So one has to create, I suppose, and that's something that Alison is obviously doing all the time.
Brass playing probably is male-dominated, although I think it's getting less. There are certainly more women involved in jobs in orchestras in this country now. It's purely traditional that there's more men, I think maybe because of the brass band tradition. There's no physical reason for it at all. And I'd like to kind of make sure that people know that, you know, it's perfectly possible to be a trumpeter and be a woman as well.